Get wrong.
Hello and welcome everybody. Welcome to Perspective, where you have your girl Pam. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Where you have your girl Pam, I'm gonna give it to you my way.
Right. You got your boy Carlos Mack. I'm definitely gonna give it to you my way. And who do we have as a guest today? Miss Amazing Hands. Care to introduce yourself?
Yes. Am I on? I'm good.
Yeah,
Oh
you
yeah,
good.
you good. Go ahead.
Let's talk, baby.
Okay.
Go ahead, introduce
I'm
yourself.
Amazing Hands and owner. I'm Amazing Hands, owner of Amazing Hands Massage and Body Care. My address is 237 CCC Road in Beach Island. I'm the owner of Roxy Second Chance Boutique at 139 Edgewood Square in North Augusta by in the Roses and Golds Gems shopping center. And I also have a networking event coming up, which I don't know why Pam had messaged me, well, called me on Messenger, but I was about to message her. So it's
Uh-oh.
a networking shop on 1016 Atomic Road at Anki Shop. So that's basically what I have going on, trying to get everything open up for the people.
Okay.
Okay. So tell us more about Amazing Hands and what your hours are, what all that you do. Do you do appointments only? Are you there between a certain time? So tell us more about that first before we go on to.
Well, as far as Amazing Hands and Body Care, like I said, I'm at 237 CCC Road. Um, I will be opening up this week. My main focus is
Oh, she tapped out on
Whoa.
us.
Yep, she tapped
Tapped
out
out
for a
on
second, but
us.
she'll be back. She'll be back. I
Right.
mean, so she does massages, and from what I can tell, she's not quite open yet. So, but she's gonna, I guess, come back and let
Okay.
us know what she's about to do. So, what you want to do, Carlos? Want to go on to the topic of the day, or you want to give her a minute to come on, pop back on?
We gotta yeah, and y'all make sure y'all support. We got a new black business in the community. So that's always something we want to go out and do to encourage, get them popping the right way so they'll stay on track.
Right,
All
right.
right. Hello, Miss
Okay,
Amazing. She's back.
in my back on.
Yes, you
you
are.
back on.
I don't know what happened.
It's
It's
okay.
okay.
It's
That's
okay.
fine.
So you said you getting ready to open up next week. Carlos, ask her.
She having
Oh,
trouble
yes,
hearing.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yep,
Uh,
I'll be opening up next week. I focus on balancing the body, moving tissue that's in the wrong place to the right place because of our bad habits of sitting, sleeping, walking, and everything.
right.
Especially when you're tired and you
Mm,
have 50 many things going on. A lot of stuff set in the wrong place.
okay.
So my job is to put it back in the right place as much as possible and changing the habits of my clients.
So you're like a
Teaching them things to do when they. Mhm.
body mechanic, so to speak. You fixing fixing deep tissue, or you're talking about organs too? You having trouble hearing me?
I'm sorry.
You
Yeah, I
okay?
was.
Okay. Oh no, I said you're kind of a body mechanic, so to speak.
Yes, yes, most definitely. Most definitely.
Okay.
And I
All right.
teach when you can't come back to me
So
Okay.
what are your
because my
hours?
visits are my visits, well, I work by appointment because I do have two businesses.
Okay.
All
And so
right.
tell us about your second
And
business.
my visits are they're $60 an hour, full body. Um
Hey, babe.
all I need is you and your body.
Okay.
It's
So
best to let me know your occupation before you get there. Mm-hmm.
okay.
You serious?
Tell us about your boutique. Tell us more about that and what you're doing with that.
It's more of like a Salvation Army type Goodwill, but more affordable. Because when I went to look at places that was supposed to be for the people, you might as well
Mm-hmm.
go pay the full price.
Right. Sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So it's basically for people who can afford it. So, and I named it after my grandma because that was our backbone. So it was Roxy's Second Chance Boutique. I'm in
Oh, that's
Rosa
cute.
Shopping Center, and I should be open up Tuesday. I'm
Oh,
looking at
good.
Tuesday because it is more work. Yeah.
What are your hours
Yep.
gonna be?
Everything. My hours are going to be, I'll say 11 to 7,
Mm-hmm.
and I will change it if one of my clients need body work, because
Got
Okay.
that's my main focus is body work. I opened up Roxy Second Chances because I had a partner, but I had already signed the contracts, got everything cut on, so I just had to go ahead and finish with it.
You never know. That might be the
right.
one
You
to
might
pop
need
it
to
out
just
too.
put your little massage thing in the back, get you an employee in the front, and
That was my point. That was my
okay.
point. I had done that, but I have a massage place next to me in that shopping center that signed a contract with the people who own
Mm,
it, saying
okay.
that another massage
It's
business can't
exclusive.
advertise there.
Exclusive. Right. Exclusive. Got it.
Right, got you. I got you. I got you. We got you. So, tell us about the last thing you want to tell us about a network and shop that you're gonna have at Anki's shop in Atomic Road.
The pop and shop
Yeah.
networking.
Yes.
Okay, so it'd be uh, I do pop and shops with a lot of other people. I listen to the complaints from people who have their businesses and stuff. If we're having business, we all trying to eat. So you
Right.
can't work with somebody who's going to try to take money from you. So they
Right.
was like, well, amazing. Won't you just do one? So I got with Anki, which has the building on Atomic Road by Best Board and Pest Control, and he said, "Well, if that's what you're trying to do. You're gonna use the outside. I won't charge you anything because we all got to grow. We all got to eat." And he was like,
Right.
"That is cool." So that's what I did. So I'm connecting with people who haven't done it yet, like Pam's Burgers.
Yeah.
Haven't set up a
Okay.
tent
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Put them,
Yeah.
put them delicious burgers on the grill.
Yeah.
Boom.
They got to know what they buying.
That's
Right.
right. Okay.
I mean, I'm not channel 12 or anything, but I will give you your props.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I feel y'all. Look, I was talking about you
Mm-hmm.
today. I was telling someone that you support my business and you always have supported my business, and I support you even though I've never got a massage. I've sent people your way. Carlos' sister is one of them. Angel.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah. So
Angel.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, she's an angel.
Yeah.
Right, right, right.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Wisdom, wisdom, smart. So yeah, that's what it's all
So
about is
Yeah. She
networking
pay
and
attention. She pay attention to me a lot. That's pretty much what that's all about.
that's what it is.
I'm the big brother. I'm the
okay.
big. I'm the big brother. No, I'm joking.
Yes,
She's very educated. So
yes.
Oh,
So
my
you ready for
God.
the topic
Yes.
of the day, Carlos?
let's go.
You
Oh, we got
ready?
a drum roll. Okay, we're not that sophisticated. We're Monday.
That's right. So the topic of the day is: do parents do too much? Do we take up for our kids when we know they're in the wrong? If you know your child has committed a crime, a murder, stealing, robbing, would you turn your child in? And is that asking parents too much to do something like that because that's their children, that's their child?
Right.
Like,
That's a
how far would you go when you riding with your child? How far would you go, right or wrong, when it comes to your child?
right. That's a pretty tall order. I'll go ahead and start it off. There's a lot of there's a big deal in our community that we talk about snitching. Um, that's like very high on the get your behind whoop in the hood meter, so to speak.
Right.
So I can imagine not only are you snitching, but you're telling on your
Ain't
child.
snitching. But yeah, okay.
You're well, I mean, snitching's just basically telling the authorities or someone of authority what's going on. Let me be
Hmm.
real. Snitching is snitching. But not saying it like I agree. I'm just saying
Right.
that's the mentality that and it can be very difficult to go against the wave of emotions when it comes to that in our community. So I think that's why it's such a hard thing to do when you're asking parent to do so. There's some strong parents out there that's been able to say, okay, this is for the better, this is the right thing to do. And you would think it would be the Christian thing to do, but I mean, some of the Christian community kids are some of the worst ones too, because of the coddling of those children. In my opinion, that's
Okay,
my
well, right. Well, I'm gonna jump in and I'm gonna let Amazing Hands go next. But you know, when I was growing up, snitching was when I did a crime and you did a crime, and then I turn around and turn you in because I'm trying to get a lesser sentence. They have changed what snitching really was when I was growing up. You
right,
know, snitching is not being a witness. Snitching is not doing your civil
part of the
rights
right.
duty as a
Okay,
citizen to say the right or wrong thing. You know, the right thing to protect your community. That's not snitching. That's not what we grew up as being snitching. They just
right.
have changed that to try to condition our kids to put fear in them to do what's right. Now,
Mhm.
as parents, you know, I know with me, you know, if I've always said this, and this might be bad, y'all. Don't mess with my child because you mess with my child, you mess with me. Right? You hit
That's
my
true.
child, I'm not certain if I won't attack you too. And that's bad to say I'm an adult. But you know, we as parents, we're in our feelings when it comes to our kids, you know, especially women. But
Mhm.
if my child murders someone or if my child commits, it depends on the level of the crime now. I ain't gonna lie. He steals something out the stove. I might not turn him in. I just might just go, you know, and say, hey, you know, you what? Come on now. I'm gonna give you some tough discipline. Now, if he
Yeah.
kills somebody, I'm gonna have to turn him in, cause that, for to me, my I can't, that my conscience can't deal with that,
Right.
because you know that wouldn't be right with me. Now if he robs somebody by gunpoint at a bank or something like that, I'm gonna have to turn him in if I know that's my child. I'm sorry, because I raised you differently and I expect different
Mhm.
from you. You get what I'm saying? I mean, what you think, Amazing? I mean, I got a lot to say about this. I mean, I don't know.
I don't
Mhm.
know. I think when it comes to my child and it comes to situation, because I've lived life, and it's not snitching because it's going to catch up with you. So
Right,
we're gonna have to clear it up. That's my main teaching. You can't keep hiding from it. You have to clear it up. I'm awaiting a situation now, and they make you wait. They make you sweat. Try to see what you doing. They still watching you while you're sitting and waiting. So no
right,
matter what, it's not gonna disappear. So I'm a saving you. I'm not snitching on you. I'm saving you. Now a little piece
right.
of candy, I'm gonna tear that tail up because I made sure you didn't have to put your hands on nothing that didn't belong to you.
That's right.
But when it comes to that higher law, because they gonna try to make they gonna try to show what you did. They not gonna show the truth. Okay, I'm
Right,
sorry. I apologize. A lot of times they're not gonna show the whole truth because they want to be the victim, because it could have been a lot of stuff can be avoided.
right,
But like I said, I'm living through that now, so I know, baby, we're gonna have to clear it up. It's not snitching. It's clear making sure you have a better life so you have a second chance. Because if you
right,
don't, it's gonna catch up with you. That's it. I'm saving you. I'm not snitching on you. So let's go ahead, take you a shower, whatever you need to do, because we don't know what's gonna happen.
Mm.
right.
That's tough.
One of our guests said they can't understand what we're saying. I don't know if they can't understand me or you or who.
Or the question, maybe. I don't know. Um,
Okay.
yeah,
Well, we
guess. I
would
mean,
love to
yeah.
know
Go
what
ahead
you
and be more specific about what you're saying. You can't understand us because I just checked it. Played it back a little bit, and it sounds fine. So I'm wondering if you mean the question. You know, I understand what the topic is, but we're
okay.
gonna keep it moving until we get clarity. One of the biggest things in this is how. mm, I almost want to say there's a correlation between how you raise your child and what you would do in this situation. Like if you raise your child to be, and of course kids go astray,
Right.
You got your preacher
Most
kids, you got
definitely.
your teachers'
Yeah.
kids. They do go astray, but there are a lot less kids that go astray in that have been raised in the church, and how far they go astray is another factor versus people in the community who have raised their children to do ratchet stuff. You know, of course, they're not going to tell on their child. That's how they raise their child. Why would a drug dealer who taught the child how to, you know what I mean, or
Be a
someone
gangster.
or be a gangster tell on their child? If
Yeah.
so, you got to look at the parent. If you're wondering how a woman would let, say for instance, their child is up for murder, and they're defending, whether it be social media or in the community, and trying to stir up stuff like basically trying to make their child innocent in the eyes of the public when they know full well their child is a murderer. And
Right.
Yeah.
it's like one of those things where they have no shame. They're more they just have an immature uh idea of reality, what it's supposed to be. And so you can blame them, but you can't be surprised that if they raised a child that's blatantly um uh dangerous in the community. Where do you think they got it from?
Right. Well, and for the defenses, there are some good parents out there that have done their best to raise their child. It just sometimes kids come out and their spirit is what they are. And it ain't got
Mhm.
anything to do with parenting per se.
It
That I mean,
absolutely
that's
it absolutely does have to do everything with it.
no.
You're
You
not
got
you're
some
not born
kids.
you're not born a devil
I'm just
spawn.
saying you have some kids that have some issues, and that
I'm
mom
not,
has been trying to do everything she can.
right.
But I think the mistake is sometimes as black parents, as a mother, I know men are stronger than we are, but as a mother, we try our
Mm.
best to
Protect.
protect our kids. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? We know that sometimes they do some things that's wrong or
Hmm.
whatever,
That's
and we
right.
discipline them and we get on them, and
Mm.
then turn around, and
Let
I
them
guess
off
the
the hook.
problem is we don't we turn a blind eye to certain things. We know that there is trouble with certain issues, but we'll turn a blind eye to it. And I think that that's where tough love has to come in place. We as and let me I'm gonna say this. There this doesn't have a color to it. Black,
Right.
white, no
Oh
matter
yeah.
what. There
Definitely.
are white parents, there are black parents that will
Mhm.
not turn their child in because they say, that's my child. What do you expect for me to do?
They'll help them cover it
That's
up.
my child.
Where you
What do
want
you
to do?
want me
Where
to
you want to
do?
bury the body at? Let's handle this situation. Let's call your uncle to handle blah blah blah, and we're going ahead and it's
Exactly.
done now. Why should I've heard this? It's done now. Why should my child and this other child suffer? I mean, that's the mentality behind it. But going back to what you said, Pam. Um,
Over here.
yeah, over there. What you said in essence is exactly what I said. When you turn a blind eye in micro steps as they're growing up, it just gets bigger and bigger. And that's what
Right.
I mean. It's parenting, even if because you don't want to say it's parenting. No parent wants to say it's their fault. No, I mean nobody wants to
Yeah.
say it's they had
I don't, but
anything. That's why moms get so upset when you pick out some flaw in their parenting because it almost
It
speaks to
shows
their
them.
entire, yeah. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
right.
you trying to say
But
I'm
Yeah.
a
I
bad
can't
mom.
but I don't think that all of it is just parenting. It's also environment. It's also the friends that they choose to be around when you're not around. To be honest
Mm-mm.
with you, their friends have more power and influence on
Yeah.
them than anything. I
Yeah.
mean,
Do
what
you know we have
amazing
all
hands,
the
what you
rights
think?
to choose who they're around? We have all the rights to choose who they're around. Like we
True.
dealt with the bullying. So the
Parenting.
parents do still have a hand in there. If I
Parenting.
say you can or can't deal with this person, I'm not saying it
Right.
always works because she have a cell phone now.
Right.
But if I find out, there's gonna be repercussions because we talked about this.
I'm a frisbee that cell phone right out the window.
Right. Right.
See, that's what
Even
I'm
Right.
with the
saying. It's
bullying.
parenting. It's
Hmm.
the extent, and you got some great parenting that's going on out there, and it's been in the black community. We raised some very exquisite children,
It's
but
the environment.
sometimes it's luck because if you don't prepare your child for adversities, the world, i.e., the world, then of course you're setting them up for failure. If they can't stand up to someone saying, "Hey, let's go rob this such and such," or "Hey, let's go beat up such and such," if they can't stand up to that, who taught them? Who
hold
trained
on,
them?
Carlos. The peer pressure of especially black boys is something serious out there. Just
Yes.
like, I
Okay.
mean, a
Peer
lot of
pressure.
times the environment, you got social media, you have music, like Miss Douglas said, you have TV, you have all these influences that are on your child, and then you have. I remember my son saying this in school because we would battle back and forth with, and he only understood this. My oldest son, he only understood this when he got older. Because I used to always say, "Why are you not doing your best in school?" He said, "Because it's not cool. It's not cool for a black boy to carry his books. It's not cool for a black kid to be smart. It's not cool, and they pick on you. They pick on you for being smart."
They
So he
horrible,
used to
man.
have to
Yeah.
hide his books. He used to have to hide his stuff in order to, try to achieve greatness. You know what I'm saying? All of my nephews, all of them went through the same thing. And what helped them most is the fact that thank you, thank you. And what helped them most is the fact that they had um
Yes.
they had each other. It was so many of my nephews and nieces that grew up together and they were the same age. So they didn't have to worry about being cool with other kids because they had each other. And
Mhm.
that's what helped them not go down the wrong thing and not do all the wrong things because they still had those peer pressures as teenagers. Because if you don't follow the clique, then you lame.
Let me tell you something. All right. I grew
Thank
up.
you, Miss Douglas.
Yes, and sister love. That's wonderful.
Mhm.
Um.
Last week she was
All
agreeing
right.
with
Look.
you.
No, she's not. She's agreeing with you.
Last
Okay,
week she
you
was
said.
agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say. She said. See, I agree, Pam. But okay, here's the deal. Because this is a very touchy topic to mothers. No mother wants to feel she had anything to do. First thing a mom says when a child does something exorbitantly crazy is, "I didn't raise you that way. Because don't put that on me. I didn't teach you to do that."
Oh, I don't know
So,
where they get that from. I get
right.
you.
Where did you get that from? But here's my thing. If your child does not have the courage,
Thank
and
you.
again, I grew up
But
in.
a lot
Let
of
me
kids
finish.
don't
Let me
have the
finish.
courage.
Listen, and I just said that if your child does not
That's
have the
true.
courage,
That's true.
you have
Yeah.
to train your child. This is a tough topic, a tough talk. But maybe somebody has small kids that the kids ain't already gone through this. But this is what I'm saying. You have to
Exactly.
prepare your
Exactly,
child
Mr. Demetrius. That's
for the
it.
world.
It's a different time. And like what Pam say, our kids, we all grew up in like groups, had backbones and stuff like that. But like my daughter, she went through the bullying situation. She felt like she was alone. If she tell mama, she already know mama may, go act a fool with them and they want to be embarrassed. But then she had to understand that no, you talk to me, I'm gonna talk to you in a civilized way. But everybody don't have anybody to talk to. Everybody don't have anybody to group with. But when I did deal with the bullying, when I met the mother, that doggone apple don't
Didn't
Nope.
fall
fall
far
too
from the
far
What
from
tree.
I
the
say?
tree.
What I say? What I
Not
said
at
earlier?
all. Because
What I
she
say?
wanted to pop on me, and I'm trying to make them be friends just because they're from a different. They stayed, in
Oh Lord, the
apartments. We
mama
was in a
centric.
family setting.
Right.
Wow.
Exactly. She already knew who I was, but we
Here's
try as adults now. Now you still the same like your children. How do you work with that? That's the thing.
here's the
Right.
thing. You
It
don't.
does
Now,
come from
it
You're
is.
parenting,
not.
I
Look.
do agree with
Look.
Carlos.
Look.
I do agree with Carlos. It is sometimes it is parenting.
Ain't no
Yes,
sometimes. It's
but
all the
not
time.
all the time.
All the time.
Sometimes, not all the time, because we just
Look.
told you
If
we had all
y'all,
these other issues.
if you women for a hot
Go ahead,
second, let
Carlos.
me finish. I gotta sit here and listen to all of this dribble all day, and I can't get a word in. So listen, this ain't new. Bullying ain't new. I grew up in Southside. You think people picking on you because you got good grades is new? Call up Angel and ask how many times we got in fight because we got a good report card. Or we the only ones running up to getting our certificate for math and certificate. Carlos and Angel going back and forth to the stage. This ain't new. Being bullied is not new. Getting your butt kicked because you're smart is
Right.
not new. You have to have the courage to
Right.
do so. You think I didn't? I was more afraid. I'm gonna tell you, I great, great example. I was more afraid of going home with a bad report card than I was of these little fools at school, because I knew I was gonna have more problems at home than I did in school. So you have to make a choice. You see what I'm saying? I'd rather fight
But
one
see,
of the
the
kids than
choices
deal with
are
my mom.
different these
It's not a
days.
difference. What's the
Yes,
difference?
it is,
What's the
Carlos.
difference? What's
Yes,
the
it
difference?
is.
What's the
The
difference?
difference is you have a lot. You didn't have social media when you was growing up. You didn't have. You had
Okay.
the bad environment. You had that, but you didn't have social media. You didn't have those. The TV wasn't when you was growing up in high school. Your TV went off at 12 o'clock, and it was singing the
The
American
national
the
anthem or
national
whatever.
anthem.
Right.
So stop playing, because now you get on TV. You can be on TV all day.
Okay.
You can be on social
Yeah.
media all day.
Yeah.
And what's
Woman,
feeding it? Hold on. What's feeding into those kids is not always positive. It's not always positive.
Yeah.
So what your mom was fighting against was just the environment. What the parents today are fighting against is a whole lot bigger than where you live.
look,
You
this
know
is
what I'm
social
saying?
media. Social
Yeah.
media just amplifies whatever the heck kind of child you got. If you look at
That's
a
not
child,
true.
yes,
It
it does.
influences.
Listen,
It is that,
if
okay,
your
wait,
child is
hold on.
in the
Why do
gangster or twerking,
Carlos?
guess what's gonna be all over her page? Guess what kind
No,
of friends she got?
no.
That's what it is.
Why do you think
Like
that they have
man,
influencers? Why do you think that they have influencers?
What?
it'll mess with my ass
Influencers,
somebody.
Okay.
influencers are people that influences your child or the people in society to do certain things.
Right.
So,
Influence, not make.
right.
Influence.
But I'm saying those influencers, these people out there, their job is to continue to influence your child, either positive or negative. But no
Not
matter,
new. That is not new.
cartoons these days ain't even the same. They got violence in them.
Okay, and what you let your
And your
child
child,
watch?
I don't care what.
It's
I
your
don't care.
child. Ain't
Your
nobody else's child.
3-year-old, your
It's nobody else's.
3-year-old,
It's
a
nobody
4-year-old,
else's child.
a
Why your
5-year-old.
3-year-old watching Grand Theft Auto?
No,
Whose
I'm
fault is
saying
that?
your
Yeah,
3-year-old
yeah,
watching cartoons,
yeah.
and it's still gonna have violence in it.
Tom and Jerry had violence and they'll beat each other ass all day. It's violence is not new. Yo, Sammy the Sound trying to kill. That's not new. It's not new. What your child is into, if your child is in, you ever heard of cancel culture? Right now, bullying, all this other stuff is not popping. You understand me? You can get help on social media. People don't. You have a if you want to be about the environment, you're going to be in that culture. You're going to be in that even in school. Social media divides you into whatever, amplifies whatever you're into. If you're a Christian, then that's what's going to be all over. You're not going to be all in this drama
That's
and all
what's
this
gonna
other
pique
stuff.
your interest. You're right.
Exactly. If you're
You're
in the
right.
music, and
You're right.
everything's going to be music. If you're art,
Amazing
that's what it's going
hands.
to be.
I'm about to mute you for agreeing with Carlos. I'm just joking.
Look, carry down on Trump her for that.
Okay. Well, what you think, Amazing Hands? What you think? We're calling you Amazing Hands. What you think?
What I think about what part?
All of it.
So, what do you think about the difference between
Well, I feel
now
like
and then?
I have my boys are amazing. Um, my boys are awesome. I'm just blessed enough to say I never had to pick one of them up from jail. I kept the communication open. I never knocked it down to G rated because they're gonna have to get the R rated one day. So we have open door policy.
Mm-hmm.
You call me if somebody said something about this, somebody did this to this girl. My child always want to step in. That's not your business.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm
you
like
can talk to them and teach them how we would have taken care of it. We take care of things differently. We don't use things as crutches. You know the difference between right and wrong. That's your two
Mm-hmm.
things, right and wrong. You do it wrong, now you got to suffer stuff with me. That's
Mm-hmm.
temporary.
So if they do it
But
wrong
you
and
will
you know
become
they did it
free.
wrong, will you turn them in? Will you turn them into law enforcement?
If I know that it's going to jeopardize their life, yes, I will. I will.
Oh, okay.
I
So
think
what
I think
you
what she
mean
was
jeopardize? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think what
Like
she was talking about, like,
murder.
if they're running from the police, or you're saying like as far as if you like earlier you were saying that they have to deal with it anyway, so they might as well deal with it
Yeah,
now. But are you
yeah.
saying if everybody knows who it is, or if nobody knows who it is, or are you saying they need to go ahead and handle
Somebody's
it?
gonna find out. There's no such thing as it because God got it in His hands. There's no such thing as getting away from it. Period. There's
Mm-hmm.
no such thing. So you're gonna have some type of repercussion. So you need to clear it up because
Yeah.
God know you did it. So if He know you did it, nobody else know you did it. Guess what? Down the road, you're gonna be like, I wonder why this is happening to me. It's
Right.
happening to you because you didn't clear it up with
That's
God
right.
because He gonna punish you one way or the other. Forget
Right.
the justice system.
Right.
It's about
Right.
what He know you've done.
Yeah.
So let
My
me ask you a
So
question.
look,
Let,
baby,
let me ask you a
yeah,
question. Let me ask both y'all a question.
yeah,
So if you know your child don't have
mm-hmm.
a job, or if you know he does have a job, but you know that he's bringing in way more money than what McDonald's can pay him or Burger King can pay him, and you're suspecting that he's selling drugs because he got all this money going on, what do you do?
okay. So you're
I'm
saying
gonna piece that together.
all right, she's asking if your child is obviously doing something on the side
Oh
and
Lord.
she's losing her feed. Okay.
So
But
what you think,
you're
Carlos?
asking if your child is obviously doing something on the side. Again, I'm all for parenting. I'm all for stepping in and handling that and shutting it down. You know
Right.
what I mean? You're not gonna
Me
do those
too.
things in my house. You're not gonna do those
Even if
things
you
because I
reap the
know about it.
benefits.
Even
Even
if
if you
I'm
reap the
not gonna,
benefits.
I'm not gonna
So
reap the benefits. I see what you're saying. Even if you didn't know you that was going on, and then all of a
no,
sudden, like they're paying the lights, and then you
right. You
start
reaping the
noticing, look,
benefit. He's
do a little
he
bit
paying the
more.
light bill, he paying the water bill. Mama ain't working. Mama
Right.
not working, but or daddy ain't
Okay.
working, but he bringing in this money and he's taking care of the house. And what do you do? Because I know that there are women, there are mothers out there right now that are facing that. You get what I'm saying? They're
Yeah.
facing my child is taking care of this household, and I know they're selling drugs. I know they're doing all these bad things. What do you do as a parent? Is the black community that desperate where it's continuing to allow the parents to not do what's right?
Yeah. I don't think that that parent's
I
gonna
wouldn't put my son
gonna
in that. I wouldn't put
unless
mine in that situation. We have to figure out something else. We have to call a family member, see what else we can search for help or something. Because,
Mhm.
like I said, he gonna have to pay for it in the end.
Yeah, it always comes around. And this is the thing. You're in it too. It's in your house. It's going to be in your house.
Yeah,
So you either
yeah.
handle it or eventually want. Now you do have some really naive people who believe everything their child tells them, and though they're working at McDonald's, they're bringing in racks and stacks, and they find the money all over the place, and they flossing. They'll still live in denial and then act like they didn't. Oh my God! When they get hauled off to jail, what happened? Da, 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 da. You
Mhm.
got people that are that naive, like honestly, that naive. Um, they know, but they don't want to. They don't want to.
They want to say they know.
They don't want to. Yeah, they don't want to
It's too
actually
good. It's too good at
uncover it.
home. So
They
why
got
say
the
you know?
family. Well, you got families that don't want to bring any kind of craziness to their on their family and make them look bad, and they're in the church and it's their child, so they'll ignore stuff to the third power. They'll ignore the fact their daughter don't like girls no more. I mean, don't like guys no more. They'll ignore the fact that their child is doing some crazy stuff just to maintain safe face. But that being said, you're the person that's supposed to be the moral compass for your child, and if you don't do anything about it, then you're basically amplifying the situation, and there's nobody else more influential. I don't care about all of the different things in social media. In social media, you got things that can cancel out, i.e. cancel culture. You have different things that can help your child, but the number one thing is teaching them avoidance to certain situations. If they're at a party and you don't teach them, if things start looking a little sketchy to get out, whose fault is that? Oh, it's the environment. You know, think
I was
no,
just talking to my daughter about that.
it's you. You're
Yeah,
About
not
I was
what?
just
you're not
talking to my daughter
about
about that.
about kids who going into
About being in certain situations. It
situations.
may not be you, but you're responsible for calling me.
Right.
Right.
You're
Okay.
responsible.
It
Because
may
you
not
get
be
Right.
you.
started in a situation.
It may not be you, it may not be your child per se, but they're allowing themselves to be around these things because they feel like they want to be included in certain circles, but they feel like it's more important for them to be popular than it is for them to be educated. That's training. Bottom line, that's not
I'm
the
gonna tell
environment. That's
you.
your training.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna say this. That's to agree with Carlos. Is I remember. I'm gonna
Eventually
tell y'all
everybody
the
comes around.
story. I'm gonna tell y'all the story about me. It's two things. First of all, I don't drink, and now I may have wine or whatever, but for the most part, I don't drink. And when I was in high school, I didn't drink. So it's funny how my friends never asked me to do anything when it came to drinking.
Right.
They will all go to these drinking parties and all that stuff, but they'll never ask me to go to be a part of it. And that's because they already knew that I wasn't with it. Right?
Right. Right.
Now, I remember my brother when I was in middle school, and I told you the story too before, Carlos. And I always said, I want to be popular. And he told me, oh, you don't want to be popular. All those girls you name are fast mamas. But he didn't say fast mama, he used another word. So when I got to high school, and they was like, damn, you're popular. I was like, what? I ain't no hoe. I ain't mean to use that word. But yeah, I was just like, in my mind, I put them together because my brother taught me. He had me so afraid to be a certain way and to carry myself a certain way till I was afraid of him. I was
Right.
afraid of my mom and seeing what my dad went through to order to drink. So I get that. You know what's right from wrong when you are young. But nowadays it's a little more difficult than it was when I was growing up. I really believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I would say this: it's more difficult for the parent because it's harder to prepare your
Because of
child.
competition.
Right, the competition. But there's always going to be exposure to your child. I don't care where they grow up at or what the situation is, if it's social media or not, or they got games with violence in and movies with violence and music. It's what you allow your child. It's how much confidence you give your child to be themselves,
Right.
self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? The ability to be autonomous, think for yourself. These things are things that are taught. Little girls are taught to respect themselves by their parents. I
That's
don't care if
true.
it's one parent, two parent. They're still taught how to, basically how to
And
deal with
mamas
these
letting little
situations.
girls twerk on TV and
Yeah,
all, and
absolutely.
you
Then
and
you
you
wonder why she.
grown and twerking,
Yeah,
and you got little girls. It's just like no judgment zone, but some of it I'm like, ooh,
judgment zone.
Yeah.
Judgment zone on this side over here. This is judgment zone for real.
on that
Because I
side,
I'm
on this
holding
side,
I hold parents because I think it's not I think it's less the child's fault and when they grow up like this than the parent. I think it's totally the parent. People like to make it seem like, oh, these children were born to double spawn. No,
Mm-mm.
it's you and you dropped the ball. Period. You dropped the ball on education. You dropped the ball on their self-esteem. You dropped the ball on what they think is important as far as being a part of society.
Yeah.
Drop the ball on them taking care of themselves. They don't know how to wipe their butt, right? They grow up to be these nasty men. It's your fault. You're the parent. You see what I'm
right?
saying?
I will say this. Whenever I speak to my son, I speak life into them. I constantly tell them that they're great, that they're smart, that they can do it. No matter what their challenges are, I'm still. You might struggle to read, but you can do it. You're
Right.
smart. You can do it. You're smart. But the thing is, when you have those struggles in school, your kids pick on you, and kids they talk about you, or when you don't look a certain way, or when you whatever. They are hard on these kids, and which can bring out some anger and some resentment that we as parents have to constantly try to maintain. And not only that,
Totally
let's
agree.
keep it real. In the Black community, there are some serious mental illnesses in the Black community.
What I like
There
to
are
call
people,
mass.
Black children
You got
deal with every day
I,
that everybody can't
you got
understand.
the whole community in the Black community. What I like to say to kind of piggyback on that have a mass mental illness. Like as a culture, we have mental illness baked into PTSD baked into our culture. on
Right.
what we allow, what we think is the norm, balance, our
Mhm.
balance level, just the way we talk. The aggression
Right.
level is a lot higher. But that being said, look, this is the bottom line. If you don't think it's your fault, how is it that you think that you got trained psychologists, right? Trained counselors,
Mhm.
shrinks, whatever you want to call them, that have trouble guiding people, and they're trained to do so. They know the human
Exactly.
development, human this and that, and they have trouble breaking through and guiding people through this world. You think you not being a trained professional, that you did a great, perfect job raising somebody and developing their mind when you're not a professional. You understand what I'm getting at? I'm getting at the fact that
Yeah,
it
but
is
forget train. They there for payment. It got to be because most of them, even the ones I work on, not calling no names, they are on meds because of how they couldn't deal with life. So how
right.
can you sit there
Well,
and teach my child how to deal with life? But it's our responsibility. It is. I know we have competition and everything, but it has to start at home, and they have to know they can come back home without getting their behind beat for every little thing. They
but
got
see,
to know.
what I'm getting at is not necessarily that there are bad. I know there are bad trained psychologists. What I'm getting at is they're professionals and they'll have a hard time. You think you not having any training, you're going to do a perfect job raising your child? You think you're not going to jack some stuff up? You are. So take accountability for it. Is my point. Like, don't think that you're
Okay,
the
okay.
perfect parent
Know your
because
job and do your job.
yeah,
Right. Well,
do
let
your
me say
best,
this.
but
Um,
don't act like you did a perfect job because you
what
probably messed up something in that
right.
brain somewhere along the
I'm
line.
gonna say this. My mother was not a confrontational person. She was quiet. She's very reserved. But when I was in school, I was not like my mama. My mama, I feel like my mama did a great job. But when my mama wasn't around, Pam would pop off in a minute. I'm just gonna be honest. I
Mm-hmm.
would fight, and
Mm-hmm.
my mom wasn't even a fighter. She wasn't even a confrontational person.
But what
She
were you
didn't
taught?
cuss. She, huh?
Right.
I said, but what were you taught? To have your own back. That you
But
are.
she didn't even teach me that. I remember my mama told me if I ever get in a fight, let somebody hit me 3 times.
You be
My
knocked out.
brother said they hit you 3 times, girl, you're gonna be knocked out.
Right.
You better, but it was the environment that I was in where I was from that if you ain't fight, if you ain't take up for yourself, you was gonna get bullied and beat all the time.
Look,
Period.
what
So
we
some things are not just parenting. Some things are not, some things
I'm
are
about to
just
I'm
where
about to
you
dis
are and what you live
I'm
where
about
you
to
live.
disprove that. I'm about to disprove that. It's
That's
also
not
it's not only what you're taught, it's also what you're not taught. So if you like say sex, for example, you might not have raised your child to be pee popping on a handstand for every dude that comes along. But if you never discuss sex and how she's supposed to conduct herself when it comes to men, they're going to be susceptible to the environment. So again, you as a parent drop the ball. Just because you didn't know, you didn't teach them that. No, you didn't raise them that way. You didn't raise them.
right.
Is the
I remember
point
my mama
in
used to
that
say,
situation? Now, in your situation when you come to fighting, if she didn't address she did address it. She just may have been a little skewed on exactly the situation you was dealing with, but
right.
it was incorrect. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
And
So
see,
that's
like
still
this,
parenting.
like our guest said, parenting is a continual learning process. You are constantly learning how to parent as you go. It ain't like we got this book
Okay,
that
we trying to make
is out
excuses.
there. It's
You
not like we got this book.
you
Huh?
feed it. You're making an excuse. You're feeding into what I said. So if you know, so if you're gonna say it's a learning process, i.e., you're not perfect, i.e., don't act perfect. Don't act like your child is
No
perfect.
one is
Don't act
saying
like you
that.
raised them perfect. So
Well, I'm
that's what I'm
saying that
saying.
okay,
It's
my thing
parenting.
is we can't blame everything on the parents.
Why we can't?
Sometimes it's environment. I feel like if I was in a better environment and a not in a like not so hostile environment growing up, I probably would have never gotten in a fight. I probably because my mama didn't raise me to be a fighter. She raised me to go to school. She raised me to do all these other things. She didn't raise me to be a fighter. She raised
That's
me
not what it means. I'm laughing
Oh,
at the
well,
comment here.
what do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, okay,
I
look,
only can interpret.
she might not have
Well, it's
trained you to
not
be a
just about your mama. Parenting is not just about your mom. It's about being
Right,
around your aunts, your older cousins, your
right.
grandparents and stuff like that. Because my granddaddy was the one that said,
okay. Now
if
I
you
can
go and you get in a fight and get your butt beat, then you come home, you gonna get beat again.
right
Right. My brother was the one
I
that told
mean,
me
but
that. My brother told me that.
now when you say now I agree,
yeah,
and it's not many times I agree, but I agree with what you said. It could be also the co-parents. Now that's different than the
yeah,
community because somebody else's child is not parents to you. They didn't raise your child, so to speak. They didn't have first crack
mhm,
at it. I put it to you like that. You can let the community, you can let a gang raise your child, but they're not the
mhm,
ones who had first dibs on it. They're not the ones who dropped the ball.
right,
Now you do have
yeah.
grandparents that are doing
Carlos,
are
I
in
need
the
to
house.
make a public announcement.
Uh-oh.
Someone else
Yeah.
agrees with me today.
Oh goodness.
Just want to make that a public announcement.
Oh, we have so
Last
many
week it was agreeing with Carlos.
misguided people in the black
But
community.
anyway, so what he was
I'm
saying
just
was
joking.
you can't raise kids the same way as we were raised. We got so many
Oh,
different.
absolutely. You can. You should.
No, you
That's the
Yeah,
can't.
problem.
we'll say that in the
Okay.
beginning.
Look. First
You
off,
Wait, why you
cannot.
think?
first
You
off,
cannot.
tell
You
me what
cannot raise
part.
your kids
Tell
the
me what
same
part.
way
You can
because you got
you
social
can
media
totally
that we
you
did not have.
your
You we
child does not have to have a phone at 7 if they don't know how to if they don't conduct themselves correctly.
My
Let me
child
tell you.
had a phone at 3 and could call you
Okay, exactly.
and
Why
text you.
why would you expose a 3-year-old to social media?
I mean, we
That's
didn't
what
say
I'm trying to
social
say.
media. We
Well, it's
said
on their phone.
that you got
Duh.
that every kid has a tablet,
Okay,
has
look.
a phone.
Look, they
Your
got
child, your
bruh,
child go on
bruh.
YouTube and
Listen,
pick music,
listen.
and he was 3.
God.
Stop it.
No, what I'm gonna tell you to do is to take responsibility. Put a parental thing on the child. Who bought the child a tablet? Child would have bought their own tablet. That
Okay,
on that
hey,
PS.
tell me
Listen,
this. Be
listen,
honest. Be
listen.
honest.
No,
What
listen,
song?
listen.
What
No, listen,
you
listen.
know
Your
that you ain't put
PS4
no
has a.
parental
God damn.
thing on some of these YouTube videos.
I don't care. It's your house. It's
I
your
agree with
equipment.
you,
So
but
don't know. You're
you
not
can't
agreeing with me.
contradict it.
It's not. You
You
can't. You
being
got full
contradictory when
control.
you.
You have.
That I know that
You know
all
what?
kids
What do
have
you know?
phones,
Lord have
including
mercy.
yours,
Listen. Okay, yeah, but
with no
let's be clear.
parental.
My boys did not get raised in my house. But when I came back in town and they were acting out, I took phones. I made them shut down all their social media. And believe me, that was way worse than any punch to the throat I could have ever did. These children immediately straightened up. It was like physical pain for them when you take away their social media. I don't care
Okay,
what age
Carlos,
they are.
look at
You
this
can do
question
that.
right here. Look at this
You
question.
ain't
I mean, this
listening.
comment.
You ain't listening.
Read this
Okay, what is it
comment.
saying? They are teaching kids how to compute. Oh, wait a minute. I can't read. Kids how to computer program in grade school now, Carlos. Okay. They're not giving the school is not giving your child that phone, that first phone at 3 years old or 7 years
Yeah,
old.
but then wait, hold on, Carlos.
Listen,
Did
listen.
your child have a phone
God
at 3?
damn. I
Did your
noticed it.
child have
I
a phone
noticed
at
it.
3?
I know it's a hot topic. I know
Did
it's a
your
hot topic.
child have a phone at 3? Answer the question.
Yes, my child had a phone at 3. My child had a
All
phone with
right.
parental guidance on it. You think
No,
I'm gonna
he
let my
did
child
not.
when
No.
he's around me? If he's around his mom, if he's not living with me, there's not much I
Okay.
can do about that.
But I
What
mean,
can you do? So let's be
most
clear.
kids
Let's
are
be
not.
clear. No, let's be clear.
No,
If you're
I'm
in
saying
my
most kids.
house,
Most. I'm just saying most kids are not looking for something negative at 3. My point is that
no,
kids do
no, you're
have
missing the point.
they do
You're
have
missing the
tablets and all
point,
that stuff
Pam.
at a young age.
Pamela Hall, you're missing the point.
Amazing. What you think?
It's going right over your head.
Amazing. What you think?
I feel like if you have started a parent in that house, if they do run across something they know they're not supposed to be on, they should be able to come to you or not go back and watch it. But it's gonna be interesting because the no-nos are interesting. We know that as adults. But at least come to me. I haven't had the
Uh-uh.
situation like that. Come talk to me because we're
Right.
gonna talk about it.
Right.
We're gonna talk about it, and I don't talk about it like, oh well, no, that's not da da da. No, look, this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna
Right,
run into this. Blah
Right.
blah blah
right,
blah. Don't sugarcoat it. Tell them
Right.
exactly what's gonna happen because we still go through it.
Well,
right.
yeah, that's definitely what you got to do. You definitely got to face the hard topics, just like this one. So let's face it.
It's been horrible, not horrible,
Don't
but
put it
it's
on
been
the don't
hard.
put it don't put it
But
all on the moms. I'm absolutely putting it on. I'm putting it on
How
whoever's
can you
raising that
put all?
child.
You cannot put
Well,
it all on the moms.
they're
I
not raising
disagree
it.
with you on that.
The child is not raising themselves.
Okay, but the fathers is in their lives too. And even if
Okay.
the father's in their
Oh
lives
my
for
goodness. So you
a
talking about so
weekend or so,
you're
he has
reaching.
a big influence on them.
You're reaching.
No.
You're reaching. I'm talking about the fact that I'm not saying it's the mom or the dad in particular. I'm saying it's
Y'all got
parenting.
me laughing. She got me laughing. I'm so
Y'all
sorry.
trying to get your feelings all get all up in your feelings. I'm not talking about which particular parent. I'm talking about the parent in particular. The parenting in particular, whether it be the mom, the dad, whatever. If they're not on the same page, that's part of the problem too. But what I'm saying is you have full control over what your child is watching if they're in your house. You have full control on how they respond if they see something on somebody else's tablet or
the responder, yes.
what Sheldrick is saying when they go and they hack into a computer and they shut. These things are what you put in their child's head as what is acceptable to do when you're not watching.
Yeah, the reaction
comes from
what
you.
do. Yeah.
If you allow your child to be on PS4 playing Grand Theft Auto, where he can go shoot somebody in the face and go into a strip club on a game,
Like it's okay,
yeah, and you walk
it's
past,
not okay.
okay, and you keep moving. Whose fault is that? Don't put it all on the parent. It's absolutely
But
on the
what
parent.
I'm saying is the technology that they have today, it's a different time. It's not the same.
That. It is not a different time for a parent when you have full control. You're allowing it.
I don't know.
Okay, you know what? You're not. I'm gonna tell you this. It's not that the child is being influenced. You're being influenced because you're scared to take control. You scared to turn their social media off. You scared to say something to it because that's the norm now.
That's what I was about to say. Kids learn from their friends and other places. It's not always just at home.
What I'm telling you,
you're not understanding. You're in a bubble. You thinking that it's just.
I mean, y'all are in la la land. Y'all think that I can't help it if they go out in the environment, then they're just not going to do anything. They're not going to be able to succumb to peer pressure. What if boys want to touch them? They're not going to be able to say no.
Okay, let me tell you something. To all the parents out there, all the parents, every last one of y'all are delusional if you think your child is the same child that's with you all the time. And when he or she is not with you, if you think that child is a perfect child and ain't gonna do nothing wrong, you're delusional. You're delusional and out of your mind. If you don't think that their friends have some type of influence on them and their environment has some type of influence on them when you're not around, that's where the parents.
That is not what I'm saying. Okay, I'll give you an example.
By being delusional.
I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. How far they'll go out in the community depends on what you put in their head as the standard and how extreme.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, if this little girl over here stealing, you don't go there and start stealing too.
They're still gonna go. They're still gonna go. If you put the standard right here, they're still gonna try to go above that standard.
They're not going out of the, okay, look, you got kids on the playground, right? I sit with the kids on. I sit and I took my son to the playground. You got 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds cussing each other out like they're in the military.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Carlos.
Didn't you just say kids? Okay, so you don't. Who's living in La La Land for real? For real, 3 and 4-year-olds cussing each other out.
They do.
Eat this and all this other stuff.
I witnessed it this weekend, just past at the event. Them little kids was cussing like sailors.
Okay, so I'm not finished. But I'm not.
You have sex. Oh my God, that is so true.
I'm not finished. Okay. Now you had some of those kids on that playground.
So true. My sister worked with special needs kids, and they were the most sexually active kids.
Stay focused.
Okay.
please.
Go
And
ahead,
that's
Sam.
and that's because they didn't have the mental faculties to basically stop themselves from doing certain things called inhibition. It's the same reason why people who drink alcohol do stupid stuff that they wouldn't normally do. It's still aware, but they threshold inhibition, what morally subconsciously stops you from doing dumb stuff like getting trained, running, all this crazy stuff is what you're taught as your baseline. And when you move that baseline up and down, you're only gonna go so far out. You know what I'm saying? You're only gonna go so far out. Now, again, back to these kids on the playground. You had some of them cussing like a sailor, cussing us net. Then you
I don't
have
believe
some
they
of
was 3 and 4 years old.
bam, just
Mhm.
go do some
They can
research.
barely talk that well.
We don't have time to bring you back to reality. Just believe me, okay? So
That's
what I'm
that
Okay.
saying
parent
is,
teaching.
that when this things
That's
happen,
kind of
we got some of the kids on the playground that say, "Ooh, ooh,
Yeah.
what you ooh," because they were taught. They were the same kids in the same circle. They were taught that that's bad. Even when I'm not around, that's bad. But you got kids who are not being monitored correctly. And yes, that's what I said. You're not monitoring your child correctly. You're not watching it. You ain't kicking in doors. What you doing? Enough. You're allowing them to keep that door on the hinge when they do stupid stuff in their room. Whose fault is that? That's not the child's fault. That's you.
Oh, heck no.
All day
Heck
long.
no.
You
well, you
need to
know,
have toilet.
my
Back in
thing
the
is
day, like I said, we
what
need to go back to that. Back in the day, I could not keep my door closed if I was out. My mom tell me to do something, and I go in that room, I slam that door. There would be half the wall would come off
Woo!
with the door, half the
You
wall
don't
with
pay
the
no
door.
rent here. Oh no, you
They
don't pay
take
no
it
rent
off
here. You
the
don't
head.
close
You
the
understand
door
what I'm
here.
saying? And what that does is that when they finally get out in the environment, they have something programmed in them, some sort of the same reason why Christians don't do certain things when nobody's watching, because they've been programmed that even when nobody's watching, somebody might find out. And
Somebody might
i.e.
do it.
God
well,
or the
you know,
community
now
or whoever.
I'm gonna say this. I don't
Or
allow my
women might not go out there and be as whorish as she might be because she thinks somebody might find out. And if somebody finds out that I did this, even though I might be interested in doing it, like this person said, they get their kids learn what they're interested in. Even if they're interested in it, their inhibition, what stops them from going but so far into delving into it or even letting their mind think about it, is what they're taught. And
right.
if you
Well,
don't
you know, I
understand
But
it,
it
go
will
back
takes
say
to
us
this.
early
back.
childhood development. Early
I
childhood
will
Yeah.
development is the book y'all need to read.
right. I
Yeah.
will say this. What's the name of the book again, Carlos?
Early, it's not a specific book, it's a topic. It's early childhood development. It's something you
Oh yeah,
learn when
yeah, I
you
took
go
that
through.
course.
But you
Okay.
I took
still got
those
to pay
courses.
Oh,
attention.
you
They
must
got
have
to
went to
pay
sleep
attention to
during that course.
communicate with them kids because it's the same thing. If you know he out there working at Hardee's and he coming home paying the light bill, water bill, car note, dropping mama some change, getting nails done, you know something not right. Pay attention to
Right,
your child. I know we all work and have our own lives, but they didn't ask to come here. So
Right.
you
right.
have to
And
pay
I
attention
made
to
this
them.
post the other day. It's two things I want to say. I made this post the other day. As a parent, we can't stop parenting because they're 18. We can't stop parenting
Oh yeah.
because
Yeah.
they're 18. We still have to still be involved. We still have to care. Let me tell you something. My oldest son is 25 years old. I call him every other night, checking on him, making sure he's okay. Hey, are you okay? Are you straight? Yes, mama. I know sometimes it might get on his nerves. Like he might say, dang, I'm grown. I live by myself and you still calling me, every 5 seconds. Let me tell you something because I care. I care.
Yep.
And I want to make sure that he is straight. And as a parent, I think that even with the people that my youngest child that's 9, I don't let him hang around a lot of different kids. You get what I'm saying? I need to know who their parent is first. And if that parent,
Yep. Yep.
if I'm around that parent and that parent is just as is ratchet, I'm like, I don't snap my nose up at them. I don't think I'm better than them or anything like that. And I don't even tell him why I say no, he can't be around or he can't go hang out with that kid. And that's because I know that that kid and his parent and what they're doing may influence my child. That's why it's important for you to get to know the parents that your child is around, that your children are around. Get to know those parents. One thing I can't agree with, one thing I did like about Carlos about 3 or 4 years ago, his son wanted to go hang out with one of his friends. And before Carlos allowed him to do that, he went to go speak with the parents and got to know the parents. And that's what you're supposed to do. You don't just let your child go to anybody's house. You go in there, you go meet them, you go see what their mindset is like. You know what I'm saying? That's not necessarily what their child is going to be all about, but it gives you a good foundation and a good basis of where they where your child is at and what he's going to be influenced with.
Right. And you'd be surprised. You will be extremely surprised at the micro lessons that you can teach your child. A micro lesson is something that basically means that it's almost undetectable, but it's a
Right.
small thing that you think is small, but it's big because it grows into, or it can be applied to a bigger situation. How you conduct yourself when you're around other people. Me as a man, I've learned that um, I've had to be very careful on how I talk to women around my boys. I had to show them, look, this is how I conduct myself, even if um I'm a single guy and all this other stuff and all that. I'm still gonna show this woman a level of respect. You see what I'm saying? It's how you
And who
conduct
you bring
yourself,
around your
who you
children
bring
is
around.
important.
I
Like
haven't.
I never brought different men around my kids because I didn't want them to see that. You know what I'm saying? I If I'm dating someone, I'm dating them, and then I bring them around my kids later. Now I have one exception to the rule, and that was, but yeah, but you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I didn't bring a guy around my child soon, or or early. Sometimes you might not have never met my child.
Yeah.
Sometimes your name might have been
Yes.
Uncle Ruckus. No,
Mm,
just joking.
it's a lot of Uncle Russell out there. No,
I was
Uncle
just joking.
whatever. This your uncle.
That's your uncle.
Yeah,
No,
but
that's old school.
that's real
But
old school. But I
yeah,
That's
think y'all.
controlling the situation. It's
That's
controlling the
that's what I'm about to
situation.
say. Miss Amazing Hands. That's what I was about to say. It's you're basically agreeing with me, Pam, when you say I'll had to watch what my child's influenced by. Now your
right.
child now during all this time you're talking, it still has social media. It still got all of these different
That's how
things.
to
Still
control
got
this stuff.
computers. But
Right,
my point is the point I'm making is that your programming of these children is essential. By the age of 7, they go from software to hardware. And what essentially happens is up until the age of 7, the human brain is mush. It's just basically all programming. It's
right,
all learning, and you never stop learning. But this is like basically trying to figure out, okay, before we hardwire this circuitry and stuff freezes up and it's going to be how it is for the entire life. Let's get the programming together to see how they're going to adapt to their environment. This is why human beings do this so long, other than other animals flying and hunting and everything by this time, but we're still learning by the age of 7. And it's
right,
because we have a more complex environment, social situation, and we have to be trained on which one it's going to be. If you're going to be living in Afghanistan as a child, you're going to need different social cues. If you're living in Africa, you're going to need different languages. You need to be hard, but by the time you're 7, this stuff freezes up. And
right,
the stuff that you teach your child up until this point, even though they can recourse correct their life, and it's still down in there.
right.
It's still
Well,
fundamental thinking, and you have to be aware of what you're feeding these children.
Yeah.
mhm.
That's the bottom
Well, we
line.
are. I
I
hate
know
to
we out of
say
time.
this,
That's
but
right.
we have come to an end.
Mm-hmm.
This has been a great show, great conversation.
Oh yeah.
I think this is a conversation that we need to have. I guess the topic was: will you defend your child, or take it for your child, or turn your child in when he or she is wrong?
Mm.
So we
A
want
little
to
left.
get everybody give their last perspectives. We'll let Amazing Hands, our guest, go first. Give your last perspective of the whole show and what your advice is, and also tell people about how they can reach you again. And then after that, we'll let Carlos go, and then I'll end it up.
All right, what you got, Miss Amazing Hands?
Okay. As far as my perspective, I think it was an awesome conversation because we looked at it in different points, different ages, different experiences, and it's
Mhm.
never going to be the same. So we
Right.
just got to focus on teaching God in the household and right and wrong. It kind of gives them some type of base to have to, when they get in that situation, to make a better choice. I'm not gonna say it's the right choice, but it'd be a better choice.
Right.
Um, I'm Amazing Hands. I do massage, body work, and that's my main focus because it is teaching people how to take care of their body in a better way, which does
Okay.
help with the mind, body, and
Oh,
soul. My
absolutely.
number is 803-646-2050. And if you have any other questions about whatever else I have going on, it'll be on my page, Facebook, Amazing Hands. I'm on Instagram, Ulysses Elite. I'm on Twitter, and you can catch me on Messenger anytime. I answer
Hmm.
anything.
The
I love to
DM.
You
teach.
can catch you on Messenger anytime.
Yes, man. Oh, don't do that, Pam. Oh my God.
I'm just
You know what? You right
I
now,
just had to throw that in
but
there.
I have these businesses that But then I tell the truth. I did say I am working on my social media communication.
Right. Okay, I'm just messing with you. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Carlos. I'm sorry, Carlos.
Y'all funny. Um. All right. So this. Oh man. This is right up my alley because every single episode, I can't think of an episode where it didn't boil down for me to the children. We talked about everything from homosexuality to business and money in the community, why we don't have respect for each other, why we fight. We talk about all these things, and it always trickles back down to how we're raised, how we're taught. And so the main reason why every episode I say, I make a little bit of a joke out of it. I say you need to beat them bad as kids. That's the last word. But what I'm saying is, in essence, is you have to have a level of discipline that gets it in their head what you're trying to teach them. You almost need to be more. We need to be more conscious. Let's have some solutions right now. We need to be more conscious of what we're teaching, of how we're teaching, of our plan. We rarely, as parents, myself included, have a plan on the things that check off different things that we're going to teach our children. Okay, respect, self respect, respecting other people, all these different things. We never consciously think about them. We think somehow throughout their life they're going to check off all the boxes: sex, money, economics. But if you do this thing consciously, you have a better chance of raising the children that you think you raised, even when
Right.
you're not around. Because that's the trick. A lot of the times it's easier when you're around. Sometimes they still go left. But if you have a plan on how they're going to conduct themselves in the world, then they'll stand a lot better chance on against peer pressure. That's pretty much it. That's my word.
Okay, well, my last words are, like what Carlos said, he always say beat the kids. I say we're stronger together. I think that we have lost the village. I think that we have lost the fact that we need each other in our communities. If kids are doing wrong, stop turning your head away from them. Sometimes pull them to you and give them an encouraging word. Tell them what they're doing wrong, because a lot of times they may not even know. Yes, I think that the Black community, or any community, needs to work harder on developing better parenting skills, because parenting skill is something that is taught to you through your mother. And because you was raised a certain kind of way, you have to take what was good from out of that situation and leave the negative behind. Everything that your mom and dad did wasn't right. Because you turned out great don't mean that they did it right. So that means you need to modify it. That means you need to figure out what they did right to make you a great person, and what they did that was wrong that influenced your life in a negative way.
Absolutely.
So I just think that we need to, just we're stronger together. We just need to understand that. And we got in the Black community, we have to stop seeing bad kids and not saying anything. Black parents not got to stop being so
Woo!
offensive when someone
Woo!
comes out to you and tell you that you're
Mhm.
doing something wrong. Sometimes it's not about you. It's about all of us.
Sometimes
It's
it's not
not about
about the
right.
kids.
It's about your kids, but it's about us as a whole. Because we take some things very personal when we should take it as love. You know what I'm saying? Because if I didn't care about you or your child, I would have
Mhm.
never said a word.
That's right.
So think about that. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about those things, and it's gonna be too late when when we are crying at the funeral, or when we're visiting you in jail. You know, it's that's when it's too late. When it's time is when you see something going on wrong, and that's my last words. And come and watch us
Hey,
every single Sunday
I
at
want to thank
5:30. Hey,
Sheldrick. Thank you for your comments. You got a lot of comments and a lot of points, and we appreciate y'all when y'all do that. Just want to say that
yeah.
because I went in on them a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So I want to make sure that we appreciate it whether you agree or not. You know what I mean? That's what it's about, perspective.
Yeah.
And I want to say this too to everybody. It feels real good when y'all all agree with me. I'm just kidding, Carlos, because I
I
be
don't
agreeing with
I
Carlos
don't
now.
need y'all. I don't need y'all to agree with me.
Lately, I've been getting punched down, but Carlos been getting all the. I agree with Carlos. I agree with Carlos. But anyway,
Mhm.
that was just a joke. Okay, thank y'all so much. And amazing hands, hold on before you log off.
Yep.
And y'all have a great and blessed day. Happy Memorial Weekend.
Okay.